Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So I guess first we'll start off with where are you from?
I am originally from Valdosta, Georgia, Wintersville, USA.
Heard. Proudly from.
Proudly. Yes. I came here to attend Clark College after graduation and never went back home to live. Met my college sweetheart, with whom I am still with after 35 years.
Congratulations.
Raised three children, all products of DeKalb County, and I've been here ever since. So,
Excellent.
yes.
The native of Valdosta, transplanted to Atlanta, and got lost. Excellent. Okay, so I guess of your time here in the Metro Atlanta area, have you felt that, I guess, being a resident of this area has either aided you in your success or held you back in any way?
I'm going to say aided. I always like to see the glass half full. Being a mother of three children, I decided after working 8 years in corporate that I needed to do something else after the birth of my first son, my only son, rather. And the company I was working for, they were going to move away. I wasn't willing to move. Always the girl with the backup plan. I had already taken and satisfied just about every requirement to be an educator. Now, I'm supposed to be an attorney with a condo and a dog. That's what my high school book says. But having become a mother, I realized how important it was to have someone who you could trust around your children. And once I had my son, I realized just how important that was. So I called on my backup plan from Clark College, and I joined DeKalb County Schools, and I've been here ever since 1995. So I've educated well over 2,500 kids in my 25 plus years, and probably impacted a few more than that. So I would say my success, especially brought to my attention by some of my students, was when I ran for political office. And it was very reflective. I'll say that. Many of them shared with me that election was the first time they voted.
Wow.
And they voted because relationships matter. And they had a relationship with me, and they felt it was important to support someone they believed in. And so that kind of makes me think that being in this area has been proof positive that when you do things that are decent and in order, you can many times reap the benefits of. So I'll say aid in my success in being here. I love this area.
I love that answer, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about tangible success that you can, quantify. That's like directly impacting lives.
Unbelievable. And I cry often when I see them.
Just think about it,
yeah, if you go through my phone, you'll see random shots of adults who were my students.
Right.
Many of them are now educators. And I tell the story often of this one young lady who I had as a student in 7th grade. And the year she came to work with me, in education, we always call each other by the last name. And I heard someone say, Tammy. And that alone is kind of out of character. And the voice continued. And I'm saying, I don't recognize that voice. It's someone who works with me. And sure enough, when I get closer to the voice and the voice gets closer to me, and she looks at me and she says, I waited my entire life to be able to call you by your first name. And we laugh about that today, but I'm so proud of her. Her name is Chanel Morrell, and what an excellent educator she is. But I'm not here to talk about all of that, but just to say just how important relationships are. And when you measure success, everybody doesn't measure success the same way. I measure success in the sustainable relationships that I've built over my career as an educator. Now, had I been an attorney, I don't know if I would have had this same relationship value, but I'm so grateful that I did choose education.
I'm sure many of the 2,500 are sure you are thankful that you did as well. Yeah, that's excellent.
They tell me often whenever they see me, and they can pick me out from in a crowd by my voice, and that's what I started quantifying. Like, how did you know it was me? I had a hat and gloves on. What are you doing? How are you calling my name? It's your voice. Wow. Hey, your sheep will know you by your voice. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop.
Excellent. All right. So transitioning from the educator specific part of your career, when did you decide to get into politics?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say I've always been in politics. Okay. And let me say, not elected by the people, but always being an advocate for the people. As a young child, I was always in earshot of adult conversations so that I could tell my folk, this is what they're talking about, be it my grandmother at the clothesline with her friend or be it the lady across the street. I was always somewhere trying to help. And my dad's oldest brother, God bless him now, Alvin Payton, was really, I guess, kind of a subliminal motivator. He was the first Black elected county commissioner in the Lowndes County area. He passed on a couple of years ago, but I've always been around politics. I've always heard things about politics. His son even came and picked up with the city council in Valdosta for numerous years. And so when I heard, and some people believe and some people don't, doesn't matter, I know what happened to me, on December the 15th, I guess it had to be in 2016, 15th or 16th, I was headed to a wedding. My husband was driving, and I was seated next to him, of course, and I could hear, just as you're talking to me, Khalil, I could hear the voice of God say, you've pushed children for many years, and you pushed them hard. You pushed other people's children, you push your own, I'm going to push you. And I'm sitting here like, what is going on?
Frozen.
And he, like frozen. Yeah. And he says to me, run for city council. What? So I turned to my husband, I said, you heard that? He's like, what are you talking about? And that's how it got started. I had no desire. I never thought I would. I never thought I couldn't, but I never thought I would. So when that direct command came to me, I'm all about being obedient. It was like, okay, I don't know how to do this. It would have to be grassroots, boots on the ground, gather whomever you can, who you're in relationship with, and that's how it happened. Now, the first time wasn't successful. It wasn't my time.
Right.
It wasn't my time. He said, do it. He didn't say you were going to win. He just said, do it. Right. And so I was obedient, and I did. Come back, and my representative, Dr. Adoma, stepped down after 2 years to run for mayor. And so there's my spot there, right? No, I don't. Nope, not gonna do it. Oh, you're not gonna do it? Oh, okay. Last hour, last day to qualify, and there I was. Signing up and paying my money. So it's been, oh my gosh, it's been more than I could have ever imagined.
Excellent.
Not all positive, not all negative, but a learning experience. My trajectory in terms of what I'm learning, it's amazing.
Right.
It is absolutely amazing. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's excellent. I can see how vibrant you are about it. Your face lit up, just talking about it. How the event, yeah.
It's real.
That's real. It's real passion.
It's real.
Real passion. All right. Excellent. So you being a citizen of the Metro Atlanta area since, the 80s. In your opinion, has the area declined or improved over the last few decades? And do you have any ideas on how the residents and citizens of the area could help to improve it?
So let me just say one thing that I'm very passionate about, and that is cleanliness. The litter that I find in our area, it does something to me.
Right.
It really, really does.
Right.
I'm not going to say that the citizens are negligent or the citizens are excellent. What I'm going to say is, in anything that we do, there's always room for improvement.
100%.
And that's where I am with that piece. I believe that there have been some ebbs and flows of positivity. There have been some ebbs and flows of things that we just don't want any more of.
Right.
What I would truly encourage the citizens in this corridor of South DeKalb to do is, one, have a conversation with yourself. What do you want to see? And everything that you say you want to see, help to make that come to fruition. And for me, I just ask you to put your paper in the trash. That's a big thing. Presentation is everything.
That's simple.
And so when we don't do that, what you say is, I don't care about here, but sometimes I might find the same person in Perimeter or somewhere in Alpharetta, and you dare not do that.
Right.
That's just a little piece of what we could do to make our little piece of the pie the best, because we got the income. We pay the taxes.
Right.
We have the know-how. We have everything that any other affluent community, with or without melanin, has.
Right.
And so I just want us to really be reflective within ourselves and say, hey, this is what I want for my community, and this is what I'm willing to do. So with that being said, I think that there's room for improvement.
All right.
I'm not going to say that it's bad or, bad or good.
Okay.
It is room for improvement.
Yeah, and I think my takeaway from just hearing that is like the self accountability, because who's going to take care of it if we don't? 100%. I agree.
Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see."
Be the change you want to see. Look at the man in the mirrr.
Look at him.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, and then why is this area? We can go, from Decatur, Stonecrest, resident of Stonecrest. Why are these areas in DeKalb County specifically important to you?
So I started out by saying that I married my college sweetheart, and so Tilson Road.
All right.
That's Decatur, where it's great, right?
That's it.
So for me, I have an affinity for that area because I got a treasure from it.
All right, fair enough.
So with that being said, we came out to visit his best friend, who was also a Tilson Circle guy. He had just bought a house. He and his wife had just bought a house in Lithonia. And so we thought this was a long journey out. We just came to see them one Sunday. Sure. Ended up putting a contract on a house. What in the world are we doing that day? Okay, so talk about fate. Anyway, so to go from Valdosta, this small community where you know everybody, to finding someone to marry and love for the rest of your life in Decatur, to coming out to Lithonia, never ever thinking about leaving that particular house until we had another child, and we said, hey, let's just find us another house with a basement.
All right.
This same friend we came to see said, no, before you do anything, let's develop a subdivision. What are you talking about? Don't spend your money that you made off the house, which that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Let's put it together and let's plan to, what in the world?
Giant step, right?
Giant step, faith step. But we did it. And so with that being said, I've loved Decatur. I've lived in what was Lithonia, that's now Stonecrest. Right. And so serving in this area just makes it makes that alignment so much tighter. Right. And to know that the wealth that resides in the 3-8 and the 5-8 is pretty much in the top 5 for African American communities in the United States.
Special. That's
Come
special.
on.
That's special.
Come on. It couldn't be any better than this. However, we've got to do what we need to do in order to make sure that it stays that way.
100%.
And
great.
so those are the steps I'm stepping on now, trying to make sure that it stays that way.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that is you have some remarkable stories.
Yeah, I know. Life is a story for me. It really is. It really is.
Heard that. All right. So yeah, Decatur is a special place for you. What Stonecrest became its own municipality about 2016.
They started talking about it. It was on the ballot.
Okay.
Passed in 16.
Okay.
17 it was stood up. So we're now in our 4th year.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Still, we might be ready to take the training wheels off real soon. You know, when you start riding that bicycle, you got to have those training wheels.
That's right.
So we're coming into our own, and so for that, I'm extremely grateful.
Excellent.
Extremely grateful. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I was away at college when that happened. I remember my parents telling me about it, and I was like, Stonecrest. Okay, all right, cool.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Yep.
All right, so I think you've answered this one a great deal, but anything specifically you want to say about how you serve the community or give back or, kind of pay it forward or
Well,
plan to do something in the future?
let me say, Khalil, I said to you that I've always had the gift of helps.
Right.
Sometimes, I've gotten my hand spanked because I'm trying to help in areas that I shouldn't. So I have to be, transparent about that. But I tell you, a life of service is what I've known. My mom would always make sure that my sister and I were involved in different things that were happening in our city.
Right.
So serving has never been something that's foreign to me.
Got it.
In all of my life, I have seen strong women serve. And what I came to find out that was a common thread was that they were all members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
All right, now.
And so with that being said, my dream was realized in 2019. It was the 119 in 2019.
All right.
I am a proud member of a genuinely serving organization known as Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Stone Mountain, Lithonia Alumni Chapter.
Excellent.
And so being able to do those things that I have always done or had always seen, that was a good fit. I am also a board member of the Simba Foundation, and here's a relationship that caused this to come together. Dr. Smith over at Martin Luther King Jr. High School is one of my dear friends, mentor, just love him. And he had been working to give back and to serve in Tanzania. And the Simba Foundation is an organization that supports young girls who have, for many instances, been affected by based on their gender, sexual harassment and sexual violence.
Okay.
And so they missed school. And so what Dr. Smith did back in 16, he incorporated the Simba Foundation and asked me to be a part of it. And so what we've been doing since then is every year he takes a trip, and he takes books and educational materials so that we can set up libraries in the villages so that the girls can have an opportunity to learn and not be exploited into.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
And so with that being said, I serve that way. I'm always giving, as my kids say, you don't know them, I don't have to know them. Being able to share with, very good. I'm a goodwill giver and I'm a goodwill taker because I know what that full circle looks like. If I don't donate to Goodwill, I can't put people to work.
Right.
If I don't go in and buy from Goodwill, people won't get paid.
That's right.
And so it's a full circle. So I love Goodwill.
All right, fair enough.
And so there are other things and other places. My church, New Life, where Marlon Harris is our pastor, is the givenest church, I'd like to say, in South DeKalb. Okay, and we're right there in South DeKalb, right down from South DeKalb Mall on Panthers on Flat Shoals.
Parkway.
And so we have what's called Garments of Grace. And for me, I don't like to see people without proper clothing, and I don't like to see people hungry. So I volunteer often with the outreaches that we have in terms of having people come in and get food, and our Thanksgiving and Christmas Day when we do those kinds of things as well. But the Garments of Grace, I'm always donating and asking other people to donate their clothing because there are people out there who need. Right. And for us to keep them and not share, it's not good.
Right. And oftentimes it's those things, like as you mentioned, like just, education or clothing and food, it's things that oftentimes we take for granted. We really do, man. And then you can only imagine briefly what it's like to experience life without those things. It's heartbreaking.
Let me say this to you, Khalil. I served at Salem Middle School for 18 years.
Wow.
I left Salem. Never thought I would leave Salem.
All right.
I left Salem because of a relationship that mattered. I left Salem and went over to Freedom Middle School. Absolutely one of the greatest things that I've ever done because I got to see the world. And when I say that, we have over 55 different birth countries represented at Freedom Middle School. We are one of the most unique middle schools in America.
50?
Okay. Over 55.
That is
yeah. You name it and we have it.
That is diverse.
So I had a young man my very first year, and I'll make this story quick. He was actually in a group home, and I saw him be very mean to an adult, and that gets my that makes my blood boil, my mama blood boil. So hey, yo, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Now I hadn't been there long. What you do? Why are you talking to her like that? I said, you know what? You hungry. And he looked at me like, how you know?
Right.
I said, you hungry. I said, because when I get hungry, I act a stone fool. I said, so you hungry? Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
I said, tell you what I'm going to do for you. I said, now this is going to be, this is how we're going to build our relationship. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring a bag of snacks from my pantry. Now, these are things that my children, my privileged children, didn't like. I would buy the big bags that had the variety. They'd eat the things listen, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
They'd eat the things that they wanted, and then the other things would stay. Mm-hmm. I said, there's somebody else. I filled up a bag, literally about this big, about this tall. And I told him, I told my other office mates, I said, when he comes in here, he's going to have a pass. Please allow, if I'm not in here, allow him to go right beside my desk, get him something to eat, look out that front window, finish what he has, and then return to class. And when I tell you it made a difference, I can't remember his name. I'm looking at him. He was a young man from Savannah, Georgia, who had gotten into some trouble. Mm-hmm. He had come to Atlanta to be a part of a group home here. And it brings me to tears when I think about something as simple as food. So I've got some things in my head, and when I tell you God gives me it's a think tank. It's a big head, but it's a think tank. And I have all kinds of things that I'd love to be able to do, not only as a councilwoman for the constituents in District 5, which is what I was elected to the district I was elected to serve in, but just for children when I make that step to retire from public education. I'm going to have to do some of that because it's so intrinsic for me to help that I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't. So I've got some ideas about how to be able to do, to continue what it is that I feel passionate about. Not to say that I can't do it now, but for everything there's a season. And so I want to make sure that I've done all I need to do in this season before I do something else. So,
I think some people would call that living in your purpose.
Oh yeah,
that's excellent.
Oh yeah.
All right. So kind of switching gears a bit from the positives and things. What are some of the unexpected trials you faced along the way? I guess we'll limit that to a few because life would throw some curveballs.
You know what I'll say? I'll say this, and I'll speak just from my time as a council person. So excited about being elected, went into a runoff, won, got sworn in December 17th of 2019. Right. And what started to happen in early 2020?
So you never would have guessed. Okay.
My first year
pandemic
has been a COVID year. And I won't use it as an excuse, but I'll be real with myself and real with the constituents whom I serve. What I wanted to do, I could not do because I'm so up close and personal. Right. We all were afraid. And if anybody says that they weren't afraid of COVID, I have to look at them a little. I have to look at them twice. We didn't know. We did not know. And to start to teach virtually, now we knew that sometimes we had, because we'd already started this VLA folder where you have your virtual learning assignments just in case we had inclement weather. Never wanted the kids to stop once we got these Chromebooks.
For a day or two.
For a slap year?
Semester. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And
That's
so,
crazy.
that was the dawn of the weight gain. And so that was an unexpected trial to have now 2 stomachs instead of 1. But just to not be able to do what you have planned is sometimes it's jaw dropping,
Right.
because I had really planned to do the things that I campaigned on,
Right.
making sure that our seniors were taken care of and having activities and places for our youth to go. The transparent government, I'm doing that. Trust and believe. I'm going to do that because that's the one piece that I can control.
So I can.
That what I say and what I'm involved in and what I do it with integrity, and I do it with the sense of accountability to those who went into the ballot box to say yes for Tammy Grimes.
Right.
So I have to do
Right,
that.
right,
And
right.
then I want to sleep at night.
Absolutely.
I don't want my eyes to be open thinking that somebody's knocking on my door because
Clean conscience.
yeah. No, ma'am, no, sir. These are the kinds of bracelets I like to wear.
All right, fair
the
enough.
ones I choose. And so with that being said, some of the COVID piece, I think,
Right.
could just summarize that unexpected thing. But now that, we're starting to be vaccinated,
Right.
and people are having a level of responsibility about what COVID looks like. And I'll say this right now. Last year this time, if you'll allow me just to take this quick moment. Last year this time, we lost our first family member.
I'm sorry to hear that.
March 28th, Willie Frank.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Willie Frank Grimes went to be with the Lord.
Wow.
And we were shocked and stunned, like, no way.
Yeah.
Not this vibrant guy, not this cousin and brother to all, not this great dad, not this great grandfather, retired MARTA bus driver whom everybody loved and knew. We were devastated. We went on to lose about 5 more, but it's just the COVID. I'll just leave that there with the COVID, with that unexpected piece,
Man.
to disrupt life. But I'm really praying along with others. I hope that we can soon get back to what has now become our abnormal normality.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. Ready to get the ball rolling. With my constituents, so that they do understand that I didn't stop.
Right.
I didn't take the election as a joke, and that my commitment is real.
Man, sincerest condolences for that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's when it's not theoretical anymore. It's direct in your face. So
In your face.
that's unfortunate.
In your face.
Yep. So I guess the next question is, we can really make it the last because
I know
We learned so much.
I probably talked all in and out of things.
no,
Oh,
it's
gosh.
good. It's been great. It's been great information and great to hear more about your story. But I guess, what do you hope to accomplish professionally within the next 10 years? And then what are you looking forward to this year?
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I spoke a little bit about, once I do retire from public education, that I do want to have a nonprofit that supports clothing and food for our children. I know what it's like to be hungry by choice.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different. Because I can send, as the old folks used to say, I can send by you to go get me something, or I can order in and you can bring it to me. These children whom I've come to love and respect with the tenacity and the perseverance, I want to continue to make impact with them. And so like I said, I have so many ideas given to me that I know that I won't be able to be away from that. So professionally, I would have retired. I do still plan to be in the public office. Now, be that as an elected official, an appointed official, or even as a volunteer. I'm not going to stop serving because that's who I am.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And so with that being said, that's kind of where I am. Make sure I have a nonprofit that profits the people that I target, and then to still be able to serve constituents.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So
Be it state level or be it national. Who
federal.
knows?
Who knows? All right. So it sounds safe to say we have not heard the last of Councilwoman.
No, it's just the
Grimes.
beginning. It's just
That's
the beginning.
excellent. Well, thank you so
Just
much
the
for your
beginning.
time and
Oh,
coming
you're
on
welcome.
in.
You're
Excellent,
welcome.
man.
And I'm so appreciative of you and what you're doing as a young man, as a young African American man. You're doing what you want to do, and you're doing it well. And so, as I said during my campaign, relationships matter, only because You knew my son.
That's right. That's right.
You are his fraternity brother.
Yep, the oldest and the coldest. That's right.
And he said to me, when you took my pictures, he said, Ma, this is, and that's all, it didn't matter after
Right.
that.
You'll get it
When he
done,
said,
yeah.
Ma, this, hey, okay, got it.
Yeah,
And so
excellent,
that's
yeah.
what we do. So I wish you continued success. May God smile on you and everything that you desire be decent and in order, and your path be bright. And we look for great things to continue to come from our RD.
Hey, come on now. All right. Now.
Productions.
That might be
Thank you
the
so
official
much.
tagline.
Yeah.
Now.
Thank you so much for inviting me,
Listen,
Khalil. And I'm
absolute
always
pleasure.
here to serve. If you need anything that I can help you with here in my professional capacity or in my official capacity in the city of Stonecrest, I am here to ensure that that I give you all the resources that we have that could benefit you.
Likewise.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Man. You have a fantastic day.
All right. Well,
now.
thank you. Okay.
All right. Remember, relationships are important, people.
That's right.
Excellent.